Draw pattern, martini glass, golden channels. There you go. Welcome to the bathtub. 1,000 subscribers. Also Sprach Zarathustra. Richard Strauss it started off 2001 Space Odyssey. It started off the 1,000th subscriber episode of the bathtub. Lucky's here. The scarf is here. The candle is here. We're all here surviving the coronavirus. The coronavirus can kiss my ass. That's the theme of this episode. Lucky, you're going to have to get down for a minute, please. Please don't jump up and down all the time. And we're here basically just to say thank you for everybody for watching this ridiculously pointless show. Lucky, I can't. She's not going to leave me alone, I don't think. She really does believe the show is all about her. And I have a lot of things to say. A lot of people to thank. A lot of exciting things. This is just the beginning of the excitement. So we have 1,001 subscribers today. And I had the whole production crew come up here. I've had them all out here to work on all these special effects, get the sound so beautiful. They did a beautiful job on the sound, which sounds like you're basically in a giant tin can. And you know, I made them take public transport up here from Pismo Beach in the middle of the coronavirus epidemic. And they've done this not because they love me, but because they don't have anything else to do, just like me. They have nothing else to do. So what else have we got to talk about? We've got, we just want to say a few things today about all the exciting things that have happened here at the bathtub. I've already forgotten what's going on at this. We don't really have a show. We're not going to talk about any books today. Not that we ever really talk about books. We basically just talk about whatever I'm reading. That's the purpose of the show. And I'm trying to think, there's so many things I wanted to do in this episode. I've forgotten what they all were. But one of them I wanted to do was to say thanks to everybody. Oh, lucky. And one of the things I thought I would do is give off a bunch of awards to all my viewers, because I've had some wonderful reviewers out there. Most of them have been totally piss poor, the worst literary critics I've ever met. They totally have no idea what they just like stuff and don't like other stuff. They have Lucky, don't touch that. Your mother will kill you if she sees your scarf get chewed up. And you're the worst critics I've ever seen. You have nothing interesting to say about any of these books, but you all have stayed with me and listened to me and put up with this really turd of a show. Even when our lives are completely going down the toilet, and it has nothing to do with coronavirus. It has to do with everything else. So we're going to give out some awards to my great viewers, and I've created this in about 5 minutes. I took a template and I created the special certificate. Lucky, please don't bite me. The special certificate of international bathing. And what I'm going to basically do, because I'm so cheap, is I'm just going to actually send it to you as an email if you want it. If you want this piece of rubbish, I'm going to send it to you as an email. Now it has at the top, it has our wonderful B.K. Smith's picture, which is right behind me over my shoulder, and it also says it talks to you. This one is for Boris Johnson. That's my bathing buddy. You're allowed to. You can have a lifetime membership to the International Bathing Alliance, and you can put your bathing buddy in the Bathing Alliance for free. for lifetime in the universe. I picked Boris Johnson because I thought he was a total asshole, and I thought he should do something useful, which is take a bath and stop bothering people. So I got him in the Bathing Alliance, and I've given his one is for the biggest asshole in the bathtub. He's the only person in the bathtub, the only person in our entire International Bathing Alliance who it's okay to say bad things about. That's it. You can say anything you want about him. No one else. You have to treat everybody else in the Bathing Alliance with respect except Boris Johnson, and that's his certificate. And I'm not going to mail it to him because it would cost like $1. But if he wants it, Boris, just send me your email address and I'll send this to you. Okay, wherever you are in rehab or whatever you're doing. It's signed by me. And it says special achievement in meaningless literary endeavors. And I spent 5 minutes copying that onto a template that was that was on my Pages software. Lucky's not going to make this any easier. Other prizes, other awards. I decided to give them one prize where I'm actually going to mail it to somebody. I'm going to spend $1 mailing it to somebody. I'm going to mail them this poorly designed and poorly enacted from the John Barth book, Lost in the Funhouse, the Mobius strip about the endless story. And I'm going to send that to our award is for most proactive bather. And I'm giving this one was not hard to give. It was to Andy McKinney out in Northern Ireland. We've given it to him. Proactive. Andy's always writing, and he like the master bather literally has nothing better to do than to watch this terrible show, and he's always introducing us to new viewers. He actually goes out and gives people my books. I don't know why. What he must have. He must drive people crazy, but he's a very proactive guy. So we're going to send him in the mail. I'm going to send him this, not as a Mobius strip. I'm going to flatten it down, and I'm going to send it to him. Okay. Best art direction has to be, of course, B.K. Smith for our wonderful logo. Lucky, please don't do that. Our logo, which was all B.K. Smith's conception. And if you touch this, Lucky, your mother will kill you. I swear to no. Damn dog, stop it. Oh, I love having a dog on this show. And so that was one of the other awards. So best art direction, B.K. Smith. I'm going to send you a copy of the certificate email. You have to print it out on your own printer. Best cocktail. Now, this was an award. Most of these awards were just kind of conceived by the people who invented them for themselves. And we're sending this to someone, Lynda O. Lynda sent us a cocktail for an old-fashioned. And I'm going to post that on this show, or eventually I'm going to post this. And it's a cocktail for an old-fashioned. And basically, what I'm going to suggest is that if you add the ingredient of a tiny plastic cocktail umbrella, you can call it the EMINENT Bather. So we now have an official cocktail for our show. It's called the EMINENT Bather. It's not as good as my Manhattan, which is going to be very hard to drink while Lucky's here. Lucky, please don't. Not my favorite. And that's that. That's going to be that's very exciting. Best idea. We've had a lot of people coming up with great ideas for the bathtub, but a guy named Dan J., one of our regulars, suggested we do a video tour of my books. And I think I'm going to try to do that after this episode because that's a great idea. I don't have to prepare anything. I can just take the iPad and walk around and show you the books. Okay? So that's going to be exciting. Most popular writer. Okay, so this is kind of just basically off the top of my head, but I was looking through all we've had like 150 of these pointless talks about books, and I was looking through who had gotten the most hits and watches, who had watched most, who had responded, who had shown the most interest in which writer, and we did quite a few books by him, is Thomas Pynchon. So Tom, I'm going to give you this certificate. I'm going to email it to you, but you have to email me and tell me how much you like the bathroom, how much you appreciate the award, and don't have Professor Irwin Corey write on your behalf because he's dead. Professor Irwin Corey's dead. If you email me, I will send this to you, Thomas Pynchon. It's the only literary award that you probably will cherish and should cherish because it's so good. Okay, Lucky, I'm going to take the scarf off. I'm sorry, everybody, but if if Lucky, my wife sees him chewing her scarf, she's going to kick my ass. So that's for Thomas Pynchon. The other one is I had one for most surprisingly popular, and I wanted to go through and actually count the people who had done the most. These were writers who I'd sort of done a talk about, and they got the most interest. I mean, people who I would do pieces on someone like, for example, the worst idea I had was doing James Joyce's Ulysses. I think that was kind of a terrible idea. And I did every chapter like everybody does. And I think nobody really was interested in those series. However, I did a thing on Thomas Ligotti and got hundreds and hundreds of people hitting it, writing, and getting mad at me and really being excited about it. So Thomas Ligotti was one of my most surprisingly popular writers. The other one was Charles Portis. We talked about him a few weeks ago. He's a wonderful writer. He wrote True Grit. And I did a terrible talk on him about Dog of the South. It was one of my least successful talks. And it got hundreds and hundreds of people checking it out because he's really well loved. And there was one other most popular writer, Charles Portis, and I forget who it was, but it was somebody I wasn't expecting who got tons of hits. Okay, so I think that's it. I know this is too much excitement for most of you to handle, particularly old people like myself. If you have elderly family members who are trying to avoid the coronavirus, don't have them watch this because it's just too much excitement. And we'll have to leave it at that. I know there were other things I wanted to talk about. I want to say thanks to all the people who've been checking out the bathtub and who write me all the time. We have lots of regulars like Al Green and who do we got? Void Loop and Tom Ewer and I got millions of people. Oh, thank you, Lucky. She just sneezed in my face. Thank you so much for that. And we have Brian Evanson, a wonderful writer. He's always checking the thing out. I mean, it just shows you. One of the things that's most fascinating about doing the bathtub is we have like 1,000 subscribers now, and it really just shows how people have literally nothing to do. They have nothing out there to do. I wanted to give a special. I wanted to basically talk about how Stephen Colbert is an asshole, but because he actually stole my whole idea of taking baths. Stephen Colbert has actually stolen the idea of taking baths, and he's done a show in the bathtub. And I was going to show his picture, but I can't do it. I can't do it with her here. So all those people that have visited us and have come to see us. We have people like some famous people. Marcel Proust has recently joined the bathtub. The great modernist novelist Marcel Proust. I'm so thrilled to have you. Bruce Wayne was a subscriber yesterday. So up in the later days, Bruce Wayne from the Batcave has joined us. So we've had a real exciting time. I've had a really good time doing this show. It's completely useless to everybody, and I thank you for keeping it going. I wanted to do one last thing here before we go, and that is I did promise several people that we would Puppy Law is not part of history, it's part of literary history. Lucky's still in history. Puppy Law will not be here because we don't know history. And I gotta say this, if you ever see the coronavirus, and it ever shows up in your urban night, in your house, it's gonna look exactly like that. This is how you know it's coronavirus. It's gonna look just like that. That's what it looks like. It's not slow. So you see it, leaning up against the lamppost, smoking a cigarette, call Donald Trump and tell him to go away with his pants. Happy bathing, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me because we have the sound problem. Same sound problem. You never learn. One of the things about the bathtub, you never learn anything. You never actually get better. You never get any worse, and you never get any better. You tell that coronavirus to kiss our ass, our collective ass, all right? And you take care of yourselves, wash your hands, take lots of baths, cool down, read lots of boring books, try not to learn anything, And we'll see you we'll see you in a few days. We'll try to do our tour and I'll try to recover from the excitement of our 1,000 subscriber and 1,000 subscribers. Thanks a lot. Happy bathing from the master bather to all the little bathers out there.